Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is the Fat White Knight, as always, coming to you from another episode here in our hardcore totemless survival world. I lost what I usually say there. But nevertheless, hardcore totemless survival, in which we have 5 rules. Just to do a quick recap. Number 1, there is no torches in a finished build unless it's strictly used for decoration and not for lighting. Number 2, there is no totems of any kind. Number 3, there is no netherite armor of any kind. Number 4, all bases must be connected via a road, via different things that will go together. And number 5, most importantly for this particular one at Seraph's Outpost here, you have to use at least 3 of every single block in the game, and you can't just mash it together. You can't hide it underground. You actually have to use it in a way that I would use it to make something extraordinary. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have seen people use every block in the game in a museum. They just lay it out for the world to see and for it to be on display, rather. Me? No. I think that's far too easy. So, have to use every single block in the game in this one build, this one biome that we've got going on here. And although it's a decent size, it's still a hardy challenge. So, with that being said, today is going to be another one of my talky episodes. Not sure why, but lately I've had a lot on my mind, a lot to try and associate with, and if you've been following for any length of time, or maybe this is your first one, either way, welcome if it is, and if it's not, you know that I kind of use YouTube as a pseudo-therapy session. Now, what that means is I talk and express the things that I am feeling, that I'm going through, that I want to talk about even, into a format where I can simply vent what I've got going on, what I'm thinking about, and how I can better judge that into the world. By opening it up and saying these things out loud, I feel like I am able to accurately represent what I've got going on, and I can more eloquently talk and express the things that I am currently feeling or the things that I am frustrated about in life. So, obviously, if you are looking for a large amount of progress in this episode, not sorry, it's not going to happen this particular episode, but I am trying and I'm working on it as fast as I can. It just requires a lot of time, of which I do not have having a full-time job. Real quick here, we are in this little bit of a cave section, and I feel that it's important that we light up a lot of the caves in the area here. For those of you who know, we have a creeper spawner very close to where we are digging this out right now. And that is important information because if you don't have all of the things that lit up the caves underneath it and all of the surface area, guess what? Your farm does not work at night, nor does it work very efficiently during the day if you do not do either of these things. So that's what we'll be doing for a little while here, just to give you a little bit of insight. And while we do, what I have on my mind today is just frustration, scared. Like emotions that I don't usually express. I normally just put down as far as I possibly can and submerge them. But I am filled with a little bit of uncertainty right now. I often listen to leadership books in effort to try to become a better leader than what I think I am, because I'd always degrade it by a few points. So if I think I am a 7, I'd probably give myself a 5, just because there are definitely far better leaders out there than me. And I always aim to change that. So as a result, I listen to a lot of leadership audiobooks. Sometimes I read them, but for the most part, I use the audiobook because I can do other things like, I don't know, creating content while I am doing it and can kind of just zone out, hear the information, and try to extrapolate what I can from it, whether it's moments of things that I don't currently do, things that I do and just feel like I could do better, or things that I've never heard of even at all. And I try very, very hard to preach what I talk about here. I try very, very hard to take the things that I've learned and implement them into daily life to try to become a better leader. And I think the key word there is try. Because no matter how good I may actually be, and that's up to other people's discretion on whether or not I am a good leader, if they are able to follow me, that's none of the point. But I feel it's important for me to say, try to be a good leader. And I don't think it is a one shoe fits all. I think in many circumstances, you have to do a lot of different things with different people because different people learn in different mannerisms than other people. With that being said, you kind of have to take parts of the information that you've learned, that you know, and try to implement it in the best way that you can within your given field with the people that you have around you, even if you are not in a leadership role. I think that's a very important distinction to make. You can be a leader without actually being a manager. In fact, most of the time, the two do not often correlate. Those of the people out there who are a good leader are usually a bad manager. And vice versa, those who are usually a good manager are often a terrible leader. It's very hard to do both because they require very different things, different attributes for each of these things to work well. And sometimes it's important to have both, but I am struggling with that on a deeper level. I want to be the best leader that I possibly can be, both in my job and in my future, in my life. I would like to be some kind of leader. And I know that's a little cliche to say it out loud, at least for me, because I think trying to be a leader is not really the point. There's those who are born to lead and those who are not. And I kind of feel that's the way. But I have been reading lots and lots and lots of leadership books. The importance of how to treat people, how to demonstrate things, how to teach, how to, you name it, every aspect of what it takes, what it means to even be a leader in the first place, much less be a good or accomplished leader, because those are metrics that you will set yourself and not metrics that anyone else can bestow upon you. So I've been thinking really hard about this because I just wonder if I am wasting my potential. And I know a lot of people are going to feel the same way, whether they have been stuck in the same job with low or little ability to progress into this position, or whether they've just chose not to do anything else due to the fact that they got comfortable. The more comfortable you get, the less likely you actually want to take a chance and learn something new. The less likely you want to leave what you have already learned and figure out things in a different capacity. And there's one thing about all of these books that I seem to have an issue with. And it doesn't tell you what to do or what should be done if the people above you do not want to lead. And I think that kind of asks you a question in it of itself. what do you do? Are you able to change it if you are constantly low on the totem pole? Are you able to influence those who feel unflappable, who feel like they are just stuck in their ways, have been doing it for years on end, and who feel they know everything? It's very difficult to take those people and to be able to influence them in any way, especially when you are below them, when you are beneath them. I say this because far too often in any kind of major companies nowadays, the leader seems to be able to function, or the manager seems to be able to function, but not in the same way that I would like them to. And that's a hard sell, because I would like for there to be a constant battle, discussion involving everything that happens in the company and what the company looks at, why the company does the things they do, and how they decide to do these things. I think every action has a reaction, obviously, science, but it's true. I think a lot of the time, companies are in it for the money. And that's a great reason to have a business, to have a company, to make money, right? I understand that. From a basic principle of life, of human life, especially in 2025 now, money is a lot of everything. Money has to do with happiness, I would say. Not so much that you need it to change your life, but you need to be able to pay your bills, to live the lifestyle that you want to live. And even if you have to live a little bit less less indulgent than you would like to, I think it's still important that, there's no doubt that money is important, is what I'm trying to say here. Because with money, you are able to maintain that lifestyle that you've come to know, or even build a lifestyle, whether expensive or frugal. You are able to build any kind of lifestyle you want. Money is important. They say it does not bring happiness, and I would agree. At a certain point, you have too much money, it does not bring happiness any longer. I 100% agree with that. However, there's only about, 0.01% or something in the world that are making insane, crazy money that they don't know what to do with. That they could spend $1 million a day and not lose any sleep over it, nor would they lose any kind of wealth, because it would take them 1,000 years to spend $1 billion. And lo and behold, they have a few billion more. So definitely is one of the keys to happiness. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about it in the sense of business. Becoming a leader is making those in your care more comfortable. So anyone that works for you or your company needs to be treated with a certain degree of respect. You couldn't do the company without them, because even as the CEO that should theoretically know how to do every job in the company, it's not possible for one single person to achieve that. No matter how much you try, no matter how much time you're willing to devote or effort you're willing to devote, you're never going to be able to complete it all on your own. Not every task, not every phone call, you can't do it. It's just not possible. That means you have to trust the people that are in your care. And I feel if you trust the people in your care, you should also be taking care of the people in your care. And not as most CEOs or high-ranking managers feel, oh, we gave them a job. We gave them comfort because they have a job. That's not how that works. We need to do better as leaders. No matter what ranking leader we are, we need to take care of those that are in our care, that are in our charge. If we are the ones that they are asking for guidance and for direction, we need to not take that so lightly. What I mean by that is we need to just pay more attention to the team members, to the employees that we have, as well as people all around us. Because if you are willing to take care of people, then they will take care of you. Whatever you call it, it's the same thing. And I feel far too often is companies just taking this for granted and refusing to even deal with the basics. Keep up with inflation, for example. We are just simply feeding them to the wolves, having them run our companies, and we are not taking care of them as we need to. We are not keeping up with inflation. We are not keeping up with the cost of benefits. We are not giving any more incentives, giving any more purpose or reason for employees to want to be around you, cast members to want to be around you, team members, whatever you want to call it. We're just not doing it. And it really, really bothers me seeing all of these CEOs of companies who are taking home absurd amounts of monetary value from it. They basically sit atop their high throne and take the money. Now, obviously, they most of the time have built the company or have inherited the company. And so they have worked through it a little bit. But far too often, I just feel like it's not the case. It just is not. Whatever we are doing is not working. We are not taking care of people in the ways that they need to be taken care of. Hell, there is 88-ish or more percent that is out there just struggling to survive, making less than 40, 50,000 a year. We're not doing anything about it. We're just saying, suck it up, get another job. Why? Leaders, why? What are you doing for this reason? Why? I've been pondering this for a long, long time now, and the more leadership books that I read, the more I am annoyed, frustrated with how we are deciding to do this. Deciding that the CEO gets $5 to $20 million a year, whereas most of their employees are under the median wage that they need to in order to live. Not to live lavishly, but to live in a way that they are not constantly worried about money or anything like that. For this reason, I've been thinking about it more and more and more. It just seems to make sense to me. Starting a business is really never something that I have wanted to do. It's never really been an absolute goal of mine, and I've never really wanted to become an entrepreneur or whatever you want to call it. But I feel far too often right now, it's just needed. I don't know exactly what that means for me personally, but I do know that it is something that's important to me, at least right now, and it's something that I want to work on fixing. I want to learn how to be the best damn leader that I can possibly be. Whether or not people will follow, I have no idea. But I want to learn all the insights and just figure out why the world has become what it is. We need to take charge. And not in a, you need to do this kind of way. No. We need to inspire each of our employees to do the best that they can for them. And in turn, we will also do the best for them. We need to take care of all of the people in our charge. And you can tell that I have been reading these books because I'm really annoyed by it. I just want it to be a real possibility. I want there to not be so much blue tape, red tape, around all of the aspects of it. Like, why do you have to play so many of these games? I see oftentimes companies hire out people who are off the street and have never worked for the company before, and oftentimes they will give them a higher wage, a higher salary than those of the people who have stayed at the same company and tried to work their way up. Even more frustrating, these people who have worked their way up are oftentimes passed over from outside people, outside of the company, for the same position. Time and time again, I have seen it. I've worked for many, many different companies. I won't name them all, I won't bore you with that. But all of these companies have that same thing in common. I've seen it happen to so many of my friends and coworkers, and it's just astonishing. Because the sad fact and truth is, if they were to leave the company and reapply for the same position that they would have gotten anyway, they would make more money. And so those people who are just coming in from the outside are making more money, and it doesn't make any sense. We are totally out of line and not taking care of the people that we need to, and I just don't understand the concept. I don't understand why they just think that it's so difficult, or why they won't even. What's the purpose of hiring someone off the street who doesn't know the company, paying more money for them, usually with a higher turnover rate, trained by the people who you are passing over? Why is this a thing? We need to do better. And I fully believe that sometime in the near future, could be a year, could be 5 years from now, I don't know. I think it just needs to become more a reality. And I think there needs to be more people out there that preach and can defend employers on this. Show them guidelines of what they can do better, and hopefully we would be able to change how things are. Because at this moment, it's getting worse. I'll leave you with that thought today. Do you think that it's getting worse? Do you think that the leadership in our era is just non-existent? What do you think about it? I'd love to know down in the comments below. But as always, that's going to do it for me for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Ciao!